Richard Pryor said this. He said, yeah, I don't want to be in no hospital, man, because I'd rather die in the street than be in a hospital. But as a comic, I didn't really think about it when I was young. I was like, well, I wonder what that means. I don't want to die in no hospital. I want to die in the street where they can find my. I was like, Then when I'm reading this book, I go, I see. That's why old black people say, oh, don't put me in no hospital.
Yeah.
Don't put me in a hospital. And the Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington is heavy, man. But it's a reality, like with Marion Mims, the father of gynecology, using black women with no anesthesia back in early, and they had a statue in New York. They took it down because what they did with black women to experiment on them for women was it's like a level of it's unreal. So I think that's important.
And in a different way, they still are.
Yeah. Oh, you're still doing it. You guys don't feel
pain.
Did
you hear about the woman who was on life support, dead already, really. But they kept her as an incubator just to.
Are you talking about Henrietta Lacks? You're not talking about Henrietta Lacks?
No, she was the cells, the source of all the
cells. Yes, the cancer cells.
No, this is very recent.
Oh, wow. See,
yeah, this is very recent.
Yeah.
So they kept her as an incubator.
Yeah, yeah. And then I don't know what happened to the baby, but there's also cases of them forcing women who don't want surgery, belly birth, C-section, being forced to, and not just like it used to be with people gaslighting you or threatening you or making you scared and you don't want to die, don't be a martyr, just take the drugs, right? That's kind of the culture of the hospital a lot of times to get these beds moving on a schedule, and they don't have patience and don't want to wait for birth to happen naturally. So what happens is, if a woman protests now, they can bring a computer in and sit it in front of you on your bed, and it's a Zoom room and there's a judge and he's writing an order for you to have that C-section. This has just happened a couple times in the last couple of years.
Man.
So it's becoming more aggressive. It is actually a war. Like this is a problem. Yeah. There's a lot.
I gotta hold myself.
Especially with population control.
I gotta say this because my wife in 2009, when she wanted, and I'll check to make sure she's okay with me sharing this, but she wanted to have a VBAC. And it was very, very
vaginal
important.
Birth after C-section.
After C-section. And she was so adamant. I said, I'm going to be there for her to make sure she has this moment. And we get there and I'm standing up thinking, I can stand up as a big guy. I'm going to stand up to the doctors. And I'm like, hey, no, like, oh no, she needs to, the baby's not going to be. And then they started using all this jargon to create fear and put so much fear into my wife, where my wife was starting to like, well, maybe we should listen to the doctors. And I'm like, no, you told me you wanted this. And so I'm going to have, you're putting the babies in danger. And then you start thinking like, oh shoot, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I shouldn't have said. And of course they do the little thing or whatever, and all the contractions and whatever, and it just stops. And it was like, wait, you guys just forced her into having a cesarean when she wanted to, and she cried because she wanted to have that experience. And in a crazy way, it's like I felt like they robbed her. I felt like they robbed her of that experience. And because they wanted to cut her up, and it was a $30,000 bill. Like
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, it was a $30,000. I was like, damn.
It's a lot more money.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money. I'm like, dang, I was like, 30 grand? Like, really? And I didn't know then, because that was back in a while ago. So I didn't realize that was something that was being forced in that way. I know I felt it in the moment, but I thought maybe perhaps I didn't know enough about that,
Yeah. And people don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to bring awareness to this, because you might think that was just your experience. It's so many people's experiences.
Yeah.
Almost verbatim, I've heard that story hundreds of times.
I think they're in rooms
and
like.
I've witnessed it.
I think it's like police departments where they go, you know what to do with these people when you see them. You know what to do with these people. And I think it's a given thing.
Is it for money though? Or for
well, I think it's population control, because I think the powers that be are not as fertile, and they're losing as far as population. So they're going to find ways. It's like with the black father, you know.
But how does C-section? But how does
Well, I'm just
C-section
saying-
for population? Because
I'm just saying, just what they do to. This is me. Just I don't
separately
have
from
kids,
separately from.
but just to destroy black people. Period. I mean, look at what the woman that was breaking black baby bones. The nurse? There was a white woman that was breaking the bones of black infants, and she got out. Like, it wasn't really. She didn't really. Yeah, she's let loose, but she was breaking, like, last year.
Yeah.
The bones of only black infants.
Yeah,
You know?
I wish we knew where the depth of the hate from some people comes from, because, oh man, I want to, you know, on one hand, it's like, we're all human. This is one big family, but it's not. It's an abusive ass family, and if we could figure out, instead of us all the time trying to actually, even the language needs to change. You know, it's actually not a black maternal health crisis. It's a,
Human maternal crisis?
no, it's a medical industrial complex crisis. Because it's not, the problem is not the women's problem. They're not coming there with a problem. They're coming there perfectly fine. The problem is the people who are doing it to you, right?
The deep misogyny,
so it's
maybe?
Like, yeah, it's
Deep
like
hatred
when
of
you
women?
see an article in a newspaper and you can tell either who's written it
Yeah.
or what their agenda is.
Yeah.
Because the headline is focusing on the victim and not the perpetrator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's about languaging things and putting the focus where it needs to be. Because if we keep saying that this is our problem, then it's just up to us to figure it out. But the onus is actually on them.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I love hearing and meeting people who are conscious, you know, white people who are anti-prejudice. And, you know, even if you look at whiteness as a club, they're like, oh no, I don't need membership in that club. And in order to revoke that, this is how I'm living my life. And they're some of the most revolutionary, beautiful, happy, free people I've met. And I'm like, if there could be more people talking in other communities where we're not present, it's like, as a woman, I can keep talking and talking, but I'm still feeling unsafe once the sun goes down.
No.
I need y'all to talk amongst yourselves as men
Right.
to figure out the
protect
problem
you. Yeah.
and
It's us.
solve it.
Yes.
Because it's actually not me.
Leave us out of it. That's right.
You know what I mean? Let me just live.
154, we all connected, baby, you already know. I'm talking 154, we bringing Africa around the whole globe. Ain't no place like